Okay, this your boy Synista here, live on Taking the Streets, downtown Atlanta. You can look around just to know how it is. Right here, there goes Phillips Arena right there, CNN Center, so that's how you know it's real. I was walking and I seen flyers where it says the FBI lied. You see them standing over here, and we're gonna get it straight up right here from David, right? Well, I said their name. What was your name?
Snake.
Snake? Okay, Snake. Explain to us why you feel, speak your views basically on why y'all here standing out. Like, you see what it is.
They should. Basically, they assassinated the president. He came out of a struggle with hands up. They shot him.
Who's they? When you say they, who's the ones that shot him? Law enforcement? They shot, okay.
There's a little bit of a backstory. A little bit of backstory would be Hammonds are a ranching family, and they have brush fires. They feed cattle and stuff. So when they burn the bushes, the grass will grow back greener, and then the cows can eat, the green grass. All right. So the bushfire was basis to say that they were terrorists. So they got double jeopardy, sent back to prison, and you had a group of people go out to Oregon and say that's wrong. You can't send an old man and his son to prison after they've already served their time, paid the fines. So they occupied or demonstrated and stayed in a public facility, a wildlife refuge, and they were bringing information to the table where the government is pushing people off of their land in order to hoard up all of the resources. All right, and they were doing it in a peaceful manner. All right, the FBI did not want to negotiate with the people there. They were just like, y'all need to pack your stuff, you need to go home, get out of Oregon. So they had a meeting to go meet with the sheriff. So they get in their trucks and they start to drive to meet the sheriff in the neighboring county. FBI conducted a unlawful, illegal roadblock. They fired shots and the truck took off. When the truck was rounding the bend, FBI pumped rounds into the vehicle. When the truck veered around the roadblock, hit the snow, and came to a stop, snipers shot down into the vehicle. When the guy Lemoy Finnegan came out with his hands up, and they shot him. The story is total bullshit. 2 cops firing 3 shots, killing them. The autopsy report, the video tell a completely different story. Now he's dead, and everybody that was with him is now in jail. Anybody and everybody that's involved in the Patriot movement, they're in danger of being rounded up by the government and sentenced and charged with this outlandish crimes that carry life sentences for nothing, for doing little more than what we're doing here today. That's using the Second Amendment right to defend our First Amendment right.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, with that being said, the results of that from what you're doing here today, do you think deep down by you doing this, you're gonna get more opposition from the FBI? And do you think they're gonna? Do you feel that they're gonna come at you for trying to make a bold statement like this right here in downtown Atlanta? Do you think you're gonna get resistance from the FBI?
Unless
they're collecting the patriots every day. The FBI is arresting patriots every day because of this incident. I have Facebook friends in jail right now. Brian Payne, a great American hero, did nothing but go to stand and protect the man's property rights. And now he's in jail, probably get a license.
Yeah, I'd say take it on a case-by-case basis. You can't say that all law enforcement is bad. You can't say that all FBI is bad. But one, what they did was wrong, and they need to be held to account. 2, the government's pushing people off of their land, charging them outrageous fees to feed cows and shit like that. They can't even feed their children. They get kicked out of their homes. That's wrong. So when there's injustice, we want to bring it to the surface. And we're pro-Constitution, and the media will spin it as anti-government. We're patriots and militiamen, and the media and the government will spin it as domestic terrorism. So we have a problem with the language that's being used here. We feel on our side that we're using the truest definition of the word, and the people on the other side, the federal government, certain law enforcement, are twisting and perverting the definition of those words, and to fit their agenda, and it's anti-constitutional, it's anti-freedom, it's anti-liberty, and enough's enough. When you have when a leader steps up and speaks and he gets shot down in cold blood, enough is enough. It's time to, you want to push the people around? Well, it's time for people to push back together. Black, white, Latino, Asian, everybody.
So you basically, you saying it right now? So basically it's coming, you saying it right here on camera, it's not even a color issue with you. You want to unite different races together.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. I ate before. Yeah. No, I'm alright. Yeah.
I've asked this question of a number of law enforcement here today, who we all know have taken an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What's your view on the Constitution, and would you take an oath yourself to uphold and defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic?
How I feel about the Constitution? I mean, it was written. I think it works more for that time period because it's obvious law enforcement been abusing their power. So I feel that they don't live up to the Constitution. I think they live up to a code of, I want to say, a dictatorship here in United States. I think law enforcement operates on, I feel they're the real terrorists, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of deaths that's going on by the hands of law enforcement. So I feel they don't live by I feel they're not for us. I feel they're for their badge on a basis of basically a power trip. I feel they're going through a power trip. That's my views on it. I'm trying to make it real short because it's too long of a history of them abusing power. So I feel they're not living up to their duty of serving and protecting us. So that's how I feel about that.
Our opinions converge on that point. Our opinions converge on that point because what we do together is we say that what the government gives, the government can take away. That also includes our security. So if I don't need the police to protect me. I don't need the police. We can take care of ourselves. If we got to, shit hit the fan, we gotta look out for each other. People need to look out for each other and not be so dependent on the government to provide protection. Right? We pay for it, and we need to be get our money's worth, and uphold the law in a constitutional manner. And when I see police brutality and when I see unjustifiable killings, it drives me through the damn roof. And people need to be in the front lawn of the sheriff's department, of the police departments, in front of the FBI buildings. Every time you have an unjustifiable killing or a cop gets a slap on the wrist for doing some egregious shit, that shit needs to come to an end.
All right. Well,
just to comment,
band together and do that.
Just to comment very quickly on what you were saying about law enforcement, I would say that for the most part I agree with you 100%, but I just want to point out that that oath that they took to defend the Constitution against all enemies of foreign and domestic, if they were to follow that oath and abide by it, we would not have the problems that we're having. And the problem that we're having is that we have law enforcement, and more as time goes by, that do not follow their oath to the Constitution. And so I just wanted to reiterate that the Constitution, and the document of the Constitution, it states and enumerates the rights that were given by God. It's not for them to take from us or to infringe upon. Would you agree with that?
yeah, totally. So
the country would be a lot better if we were to the Constitution.
I agree.
And the country would be a lot better if you kick all of them fuckers out of Washington D.C. Lock the doors. Don't let them come back in. Bring people in, real people in. Give them our wages. So you got 4 years to make things better. 4 years, maybe 8 years to make things better, but you got to do it on my salary. All right? You don't get an envelope full of money, to go pass laws that are going to benefit the one with the deepest pockets.
No, if you want to work with people, you work for room and board. That's what I say.
Well, you heard it here live on Taking It to the Streets right here in downtown Atlanta. You heard it right here.
Thank you, sir.
Straight for the people. God bless you.